Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to the PDI training. So this training covers more advanced features, such as using our mobile app and online phone bank. Before you begin this tutorial, we highly recommend that you watch our introductory training. Since there are many elements such as creating ID flags, survey questions, and universes, which are not covered in this training. You can also watch the individual videos on the YouTube channel as well for a refresher for any of those items. In order to use any of our electronic canvassing tools in the system, you will need an electronic survey. So that is the place where we're going to start. In order to create an electronic survey, you're going to hover your mouse over the admin section of the navigation menu and click Surveys and Data Configuration. You will then click on the Electronic Surveys tab and click the Add New button. Just like printed surveys, electronic surveys only need to be created one time. After they have been created, they can then be reused. You only need to create a new electronic survey if you need a separate survey. To start this process, enter in the name of the survey in the survey name text box. This can be anything that you'd like. It's just how you'll reference your electronic survey from within the program. Our electronic survey is divided into segments. Each segment contains 3 items: a survey segment name, which is the way that you'll reference your segment while creating your electronic survey; the survey segment question, which is the survey question that is associated with that segment; and the segment script, which is the script portion that goes along with that segment. Use the survey segment name text box to enter in the name for your segment. Your first segment is either your first question or your intro segment, depending on the way how you have your electronic survey set up. You will then use the survey segment question drop-down menu to select the question that goes along with that segment. Technically speaking, segments do not need a question, so if your segment is not asking any question, you don't have to worry about adding in a survey question. In this case, this is my intro segment, so I am not adding in a question. You will then use the segment script text box to enter in the script portion for your segment. Again, the segment script is also optional. However, you should at least have either a segment script or a segment question. Once you have completed all of your fields, click the Add Survey Segment button. This will then add your segment down below. You will continue using the upper portion here to create the additional segments for your survey. Once you have all of your segments created, you will then need to link them logically. The logic linking is done by clicking on the segment down below, which will then expand the box. Inside of there, you can see the script portion where you entered in your script, and the responses to the various questions if you have added in questions. If you have not added in questions, you'll just see script action, and you'll see a drop-down menu next to it with the word next. You will then need to use that next drop-down menu to select the segment that should be displayed once that action is taken. In this case, the next portion works just fine. As after the intro, we want to move over to the support segment, so that is the next segment, so that's exactly what we're looking for. Inside of the support segment section, we can see all of our various flags that are related to our support question. Inside of here, we have our strong support, lean support, undecided, lean oppose, and strong oppose. In this case, we know that if someone is either strong support or lean support, we will want them to go over to the yard sign question. However, someone who's undecided or lean oppose or strong oppose will likely not want a yard sign. So in that situation, we'll want to move those all to the outro. Below that, there's a checkbox asking if you would like to allow this question to be skipped. If you would like to make this question skippable, leave that checkbox activated. You can then use the next drop-down menu to select which segment it should be pointed to if that action is taken. In this case, however, I would like to make that question mandatory, so I will deactivate that checkbox. I will then continue linking all the logical segments. For our outro segment, we can see that the action is pointed to next. However, there is no segment that comes after this outro, so this segment here cannot be pointed to next. Instead, since this is our last segment, we'll want to end our survey. So we'll set this next drop-down menu to End Survey. It is also important to note when you're creating these electronic surveys, you can create a logical loop. If you're creating a complex survey, please make sure that your logic can actually get to an End Survey request by the time all the questions are answered, rather than looping back to a previous question. Once you're happy with your survey, you can click the Save Survey button. In order to use any of our canvassing tools in our system, you'll need to create canvassers in your account. There are multiple places where you can create a canvasser. However, we'll only cover one of those places today. If you'd like a full overview of all the locations where you can create a canvasser, please review our Create New Canvasser video. We'll hover our mouse over the Actions section of the navigation menu, go down to Data Entry, and click on Volunteer Management. The Volunteer Management page gives you a list of all of your various volunteers that are currently active or inactive in your account. To create a new volunteer, click on the Add New Volunteer button. Inside of here, use the first name and last name text boxes to enter in the first name and last name of the canvasser. Use the email address text box to enter in the email address of the canvasser. You will then use the mobile canvassing app password text box to enter in the password that they'll use to log into the mobile app. From there, click the Save button to save your canvasser. The first electronic canvassing tool we're going to cover is our online phone bank. The online phone bank is created by hovering your mouse over the Outreach section of the navigation menu, going down to Phone Canvassing and clicking Online Phone Bank. In order to use our online phone bank, you'll need to create both a phone bank project and a phone bank link. In order to create a phone bank project, you'll click on the Create Phone Bank Project button here in the upper corner. Inside of the Add New Phone Bank pop-up screen, you'll use the Name text box to name your online phone bank. Note, this is the actual name that will appear in the upper corner of your online phone bank, so you will want to make sure that it's correct. You will then use the Universe Type drop-down menu to select which type of universe you're going to use to build your phone bank. Inside of here, you have a couple of different options: voter universes, people universes. If you're contacting voters, you'll want to select the voter universe option. You will then use the Universe Name drop-down menu to select which universe it is that you would like to use for this online phone bank. Then you'll use the Phone Bank Survey drop-down menu to select which survey you would like to use for this online phone bank. You will then use the Phone Bank End Date text box to enter in the date you would like your phone bank to end. Usually I recommend setting this at least the day after the election. From there, you can click the Save button, and that will create a very basic online phone bank. However, we do have a couple of additional options that you can use to further customize your online phone bank. In order to utilize these options, you click on the Advanced Options link. This will then give you a list of options down below. Inside of here, you can use the Recently Called Filter drop-down menu to eliminate certain individuals who are recently called within a particular time frame. Inside of here, you can go as far back as 1 month. If there are a group of individuals from your base universe that you would like to exclude, you can use this Exclude Universe drop-down menu to select which group of individuals you would like to exclude from being in this phone bank. If you would like to change the acquisition type for the flags that you're adding to the individuals from this phone bank, use the Acquisition Type drop-down menu to select that new acquisition type. If there is an event that you would like to invite individuals to from within that phone bank, use the Event drop-down menu. If you would like to include all the voters in the household, not just the ones in your universe, activate the Show All Persons at the Phone Number radio button. If not, just leave the Qualifying Persons Only radio button activated. Our electronic canvassing tools also allow the use of something called a top priority and a secondary universe and top priority and secondary survey. This feature allows you to use a secondary and tertiary survey within your phone bank or mobile project. Note, this feature here does not actually add voters to your online phone bank or mobile project, but instead intersects the main universe that you selected previously with the new universe, and any voters that meet the two criteria will be given this top priority or secondary survey rather than the basic survey that you selected previously. For example, inside of here, if I use this top priority survey drop-down menu to select my survey for the video survey, then use the top priority sub-universe drop-down menu to select my 18P4, 36 and younger universe, anyone who meets that 18P4, 36 and younger universe will receive this survey for the video rather than the My Electronic Survey that I've created. If I add a secondary survey as well, then use the secondary sub-universe to select this universe of individuals. In this case, I'll select my Damn Latinos universe. Any Damn Latino who does not meet this 18P4, 36 and younger universe will receive this test survey here. However, if there is a damn Latino who does meet this universe here in the top priority section, they will receive this survey here instead, rather than this one. Any individuals who do not meet the qualifications for either of these two sub-universes that I've selected here will get our My Electronic Survey survey. You can also set a geographic filter to your online phone bank as well by clicking the Set Geographical Filter link. Then in the pop-up screen, you can use the List of Districts drop-down menu to select your district type. If this list is too long, you can also filter it by using the Only Areas and Areas drop-down menus. And then once you have your list, you can make your selections by clicking on them. Any selection you make will be displayed over here on the right. And once you're happy with your selections, click the Add Criteria to Universe button. Once your filter has been added in, you'll see Filter Added Successfully down below. From there, I'll click the Save button, and this will create my online phone bank. Once you have created your phone bank project, you'll then need to create a phone bank link to associate with that project in order to give your canvassers access to that phone bank. In order to create a phone bank link, you'll need to click on the Create a Link button in the upper right-hand corner. Inside of here, you'll use the phone bank link name text box to enter in a name for your phone bank link. You will then use the phone bank to use with this link drop-down menu to select which phone bank you'll associate with this phone bank link. If you would like to password protect your phone bank, activate the Require Phone Bank Password checkbox here, and then use the password text box to enter in that password that the individual should use in order to access that phone bank. If you do not want to password protect your phone bank, you can just leave that checkbox there deactivated. If you would like to allow your callers to register themselves for your online phone bank, activate the Enable Callers to Self-Register checkbox here. If you do not want to give individuals the ability to register themselves for the phone bank, then leave that checkbox there deactivated. However, just note that if you do not give the individuals the opportunity to self-register, you'll need to manually add every canvasser in your account first before they can access their online phone bank. They will only need to be added to your account one time as a canvasser. Once they're in your account, they can then access any of your online phone banks. If you'd like to remove the ability to skip calls from your online phone bank, activate this Disable Skip Calls checkbox. If not, leave it deactivated. From there, you'll use the Expire Date text box to set the expiration date for your phone bank, and click the Create Link button to create your phone bank link. In the Active Phone Bank Links section, you'll click on the name of your phone bank link, and then inside of the Phone Bank Link URL subsection, you'll see the actual URL for your phone bank. You can then distribute this URL to your various canvassers, place it in an email, place it as a link on your website, or any other place where you can use a URL. Once a phone bank link has been created, it can then be associated with any phone bank in your account. You can change this by using the phone bank to use with this link drop-down menu to select the new phone bank, followed by clicking the Save Link button. The advantage of reusing a phone bank link, you can create a new phone bank, associate that new phone bank with your existing link, all without having to resend the link to your canvassers, as the URL never changes once that link has been created. To access the actual phone bank that you've created, you'll want to enter in your phone bank link. And inside of here is our online phone bank. If you did allow individuals to self-register, they can click this Click Here to Self-Register button. Then inside of this screen, they'll need to enter in their first name, last name, email address, and zip code. All the other fields here are optional. From there, they'll click the Confirm Registration button, and that will then add them as a canvasser in your account, and from there, they can proceed to log into the phone bank. This here is our online phone bank. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, we can see the individual's phone number. We can see all the individuals in the household here. Various information such as address, district, assigned polling place, and existing support status if they have one. Up here at the top, we can see our intro segment. Since we did not add a question to our first segment, it is now displayed here at the top as an intro segment. If you'd like to take advantage of the intro segment, always make sure that you leave your first segment in your electronic survey without a question, and that will then display it up here at the top. Below that, we have our various non-contact codes. The non-contact codes here will mark the entire household with that non-contact code. Then below that, we have our actual survey. Inside of here, we can answer our various survey questions. Once the survey has been completed, you can click the Review Answers button to review the various answers that you have selected. Once you're done with the household, you can click the Save Data/Next Call button to move over to the next call. In order to skip a call, just click the Skip Call button. In this case, this household has two separate voters. In order to access one voter, just click on their name. Whatever name is highlighted is the voter that you're currently entering answers for. If you would like to mark one voter as not home, rather than the entire household, you'll need to first click on whatever voter it is that is not home, followed by clicking the Add Information button. Inside of here, you can enter in things such as phone number, cell phone, email address, and comments, along with the individual's personal non-contact option. Then you can move over to the voter who is home and enter in their responses. Then once you're happy with your selections, click the Save Data/Next Call button. It is also important to note that our online phone bank is not a dialer, so your callers will need an outside phone or phone service. Once your phone bank has been active for a while, you'll begin to want to review the stats for your phone bank. We have two different places where you can review those stats, here in the online phone bank page. The first is the Phone Bank Statistics tab. This tab here will give you a very limited overview of your various phone banks that are currently active. The active phone bank status section will show you how many calls are available in that phone bank, how many calls were made, skips, and connects. The daily progress section will give you a line graph of your canvassing efforts. The statistics section will give you a very limited bar graph, and the top caller section will show you your various top callers. Monitor caller activity will give you a more advanced view of your phone bank activity. Inside of here we have two different reports. The first report is the active callers report, which will give you a very broad overview of your various callers. This will provide the name of each caller, the phone banks they participated in, the number of calls made, number of calls skipped, the number of connects, which are the number of households where at least one individual was flagged, and people contacted, which are the actual number of individuals that were contacted, and the call time. Our secondary report in here is the call details report. This report here will give you a question-by-question breakdown of those various phone banks, providing the name of the caller, the phone bank, the voter who was contacted, the phone number for that voter, the date that call took place, the time it took place, the duration of the call, the questions that were asked, and the various responses. The next place in the program we're going to focus on is creating turf. We will only briefly cover the turf creation process. We'll also cover creating printed lists from those turfs, however briefly as well. Please review our existing YouTube videos on those features for more information. To start this process, we'll hover our mouse over the Outreach section of the navigation menu, head down to Field Canvassing, and click on Create and Edit/Print Turf. I'll first cover creating turf. In order to begin the turf creation process, you'll click on the Cut Turf button. Inside of the map, you'll click to place your first point. Inside of here, you can draw around the area that it is that you would like to carve. Click your starting point to close the turf. Once the turf has been closed, you'll get this Save New Area pop-up screen. Inside of here, we have three different methods you can use to save your turf. You can either add it to an existing group, use the area name as the new group name, or create a new group name. I'll just add this area to an existing group. I'll then use the name text box to name my turf. You will then use the turf group drop-down menu to select the turf group where you'll place this turf. It is best to think of the turf group sort of like the folder that organizes all of your turfs. From there, click the Save button to save your turf. Once your turf has been created, it can then be used to generate paper list or create universes. In this case, we're going to create a paper list from this turf. We'll use the Load Universe on Map drop-down menu to select which universe it is we would like to use for this list. We'll then scroll down to the bottom of the page, and we'll need to use one of our list templates in order to generate this list. In this case, I don't have the list template required for generating this list, so we'll create a new one by clicking the Create Printable List Template button. Inside of here, you'll use the Name Your List text box to name your printable list template. It's the way you'll reference your template here in the printable list creation process. You will then use the Choose Your List or File Type drop-down menu to select the type of list or file that you're generating. In this case, we're doing a printable walk list that uses carved areas rather than precincts, so we'll select Printable Walk List by Carved Areas. We'll then use the Select a File Layout drop-down menu to select which file layout we would like to use. You will then use the Choose Your Survey drop-down menu to select which printed survey it is that you would like to use to generate this list template. If you would like to include all voters in the household, activate the Include All Voters in the Qualifying Household checkbox. If you would only like to include the voters in your universe, leave that checkbox there deactivated. From there, you can click the Save Quick List Template button to create your template. For more advanced options, click the Custom Options button. And this section here allows you to add in a couple of additional advanced options, such as distinguishing individuals. By distinguishing individuals by adding either a checkmark in their record, bolding their record, or adding a 3-character code in their record. Changing the acquisition type for your flags, as well as re-including individuals who have been marked as dead, national change of address, or voted back into your list. From there, I'll click the Save Quick List Template button. Now that my template has been created, I'll then create my list. Use the Name Your List text box to name your list. Remember, this is the actual name of your walk list, and it will appear in the top left-hand corner of your walk list. You will then use the Select a Template for a Printable List drop-down menu to select which printable list template you would like to use. In this case, the template I've created is already pre-selected. If you would like to display your voters on the actual map as points, activate the Show Voters on Printed Maps checkbox. If not, leave that checkbox deactivated. You will then select your file pickup folder under the Select a File Pickup Page drop-down menu, and from there click the Print button. This will then generate your walk list and send it over to your file pickup folder. However, your maps will be generated in a pop-up. Before beginning this process, you will need to make sure that you are not blocking pop-ups for the PDI website. If you are blocking pop-ups, after you generate this list, you'll get a pop-up notification, and even if you allow pop-ups, you will not get your maps. So it is extremely important before clicking that print button, you're verifying that you are not blocking pop-ups for our site. Please reference the documentation for your browser to ensure that you're not blocking pop-ups. In order to print these maps here, you'll need to click the print button here at the bottom of the page. It is recommended that you print those maps to a PDF file. To download the walk list that you generated, just head over to your file pickup page to download that file. We will not cover that process as that is covered in our introductory training. To display an existing area onto your map, just activate the checkbox for that turf here, and you will then need to click on it to select it. Okay, so that is it for creating turfs and generating walk lists from those turfs. The next place in the program we will cover is our mobile canvassing app. We will first begin by creating our mobile canvassing project. This is accessed by hovering your mouse over Outreach, going down to Field Canvassing, and clicking Assign Turf/Create Mobile Project. Inside this screen, you'll click on the Create New Project button to begin the project creation process. You will use the Enter Name of Canvassing Project text box to name your mobile canvassing project. This will actually appear as the name of your project on your canvasser's devices, so you'll want to make sure that it is correct. You will then use the Select the Project Type drop-down menu to select the type of project that you're creating. We have 3 different options here. More than likely, you'll want to create a canvassing project, as that is our traditional canvassing project. Our secondary option is the Lookup project, which is best suited for ballot initiatives. Lastly, we have Workplace project, which is used for custom data. Most accounts do not have custom data, so you do not need to use this function. You will then use the Select the Save Universe for the Project drop-down menu to select which universe it is that you would like to use to build this project. You will then use the Select the Project's Base Survey drop-down menu to select the survey for the project. You will then use the Start Date Date text box to set the date for when this project should start. You will then use the End Date text box to set the ending date for the project. This is the date your project will close, so usually you'll want to set this as the date after the election. Use the Organizer's Phone text box to set the phone number that will appear in the mobile app. The phone number is used for your canvassers so they can contact someone from your campaign if they have any questions. If you do not want to use this feature, you can just delete the phone number there in that text box. From there, you can click the Save button, and that will create a basic project. To access some more of our advanced features, click the Show Additional Options link. Down below here, we have some additional features. The first option is select a household observation. This allows you to add household observations into the mobile app. Please review our survey question video for the creation of household observations. You can change the acquisition type by using the Select a Different Acquisition Type drop-down menu. You can distinguish individuals by either adding a checkmark or a 3-character code in their record by using these 2 drop-down menus here. If you would like to remove party designation from your project, activate the Remove Party field from Project checkbox. If you would like to leave the party field inside of the app, then leave the checkbox deactivated. If you would like to give your canvassers the option to create on-the-go assignments from this project, activate the On-the-Go Project checkbox. If not, leave the checkbox deactivated. The On-the-Go feature allows your canvassers to create their own assignments. These assignments are determined by the geography where they're currently located. If you would like to enable Gotv mode, activate the Gotv follow-up mode checkbox, and then use the Select Follow-up Survey drop-down menu to select the follow-up survey that the user should use for those individuals. It's recommended that you only use this functionality during Gotv time. Below that, we have our top priority and second priority surveys. Again, just like before, adding in a top priority or second priority universe in survey does not add individuals to your existing universe, but instead only searches for those intersecting voters. Once you're happy with your options, click the Save button to create your project. Once your project has been created, you'll see this pop up here. Just click the Continue button in the pop-up and refresh your page. From there, use the Select a Canvassing Project drop-down menu to look for your project. If your project has completed building, it will be displayed here in this drop-down menu. If it is still building, you will not see it yet here in this drop-down menu, and you'll need to refresh your page again. Use the Assignment Method drop-down menu to select which method of assignment you would like to use to distribute your assignments. We'll cover a few different assignment methods here today. The first method we'll cover is Assign Turf from List. Assigning turf from list can be done in 2 separate ways. The first method is only recommended if you're assigning 2 or fewer canvassers to this turf. This is done by activating the checkbox for that turf, using the Select a Canvasser drop-down menu to select your canvasser, and if you're adding in a secondary canvasser, use that other Select a Canvasser drop-down menu to select that secondary canvasser. Once your options have been set, click the Move to Pending Assignments button. This will then set those assignments down to pending below. You can see that they're still pending here with their status. In order to actually send these assignments to your canvasser's devices, you'll need to click the Save Changes and Update Devices button. The second method for making assignments is done by clicking on the actual name of the turf here in the turf name column. Inside of this pop-up screen, activate the checkbox for all the individuals that should be assigned to this turf. Once you're happy with your selections, click the Move to Pending Assignments List button. And down below, click the Save Changes and Update Devices button to actually send them over to your canvasser's devices. Our next assignment method is assigning turf from the map. Use the Assignment Method drop-down menu to select Assign Turf from Map. As you can see here, our map is completely empty. You will need to select which turfs you'd like to display on your map first. This can be done in 2 separate ways. You can either enter in the name of the turf here in the Precinct/turf text box, or you can use the Turf Group drop-down menu to select which turf group it is that you would like to display. Once your option has been selected, double-click on whatever turf it is you would like to assign. Then in the pop-up screen, activate the checkbox for all the individuals that should be assigned to that turf, followed by clicking the Move to Pending Assignments List button. Again, you can see it pending down below, and click the Save Changes and Update Devices button. If you would like to assign more than one turf at a time, click on each turf that you would like to assign, followed by clicking the icon that shows 3 different people. Inside of the pop-up screen, activate the checkbox for all of your canvassers that should be assigned these turfs, followed by clicking the Move to Pending Assignments List button, and clicking the Save Changes and Update Devices button down below. Our next method of assignment that we'll use is assigning precincts from the list. Select Assign Precincts from List down below. And again, just as before, we have 2 separate methods. However, if we look down in the My Assignment section, we can see that we cannot see any of our previous assignments that we made using those turfs. And this is because this list here is filtered by whatever option it is that you have selected, either precincts or turfs. So inside of here, we can make our selections by activating the checkbox and using the Selected Canvasser drop-down menu to select our options. Once our options have been set, we can click Move to Pending Assignments, followed by clicking Save Changes and Update Devices. Assigning more than 2 voters to a precinct works the same exact way as the turf assignments from list. Just click on the name of the precinct here in the Precincts column. Inside of the pop-up screen, activate the checkbox for all the individuals that should be assigned to that precinct, followed by clicking Move to Pending Assignments List, and clicking Save Changes and Update Devices. Our last assignment method that we'll cover is assigning precincts from the map. We will use the Assignment Method drop-down menu to select Assign Precincts from Map. We will then get a map with our various precincts. However, we will only actually load in the precincts that are currently in view. What you'll need to do if you'd like to see all precincts is zoom out, followed by clicking the Refresh Precincts button here. After a few moments, all of your precincts will load down here on the map. From there, you can begin to make your assignments. To assign one precinct at a time, just double-click on that precinct here on the map, activate the checkbox for the individuals that should be given that assignment, followed by clicking Move to Pending Assignments List, followed by clicking the Save Changes and Update Devices button here. If you would like to assign multiple precincts at a time, select your multiple precincts, followed by clicking the icon that displays 3 separate people, activate the checkbox for your various assignments, followed by clicking Move to Pending Assignments List. Then click the Save Changes and Update Devices button there. To remove any assignments from your canvasser's devices, just click on the trash can icon of the assignment that you would like to remove, followed by clicking Save Changes and Update Devices. If you would like to change the due date of an existing assignment, click on the date in the Due Date column. Then in the Date pop-up, select the new date, followed by clicking Save Changes and Update Devices. In order to maintain the best usability for your canvassers, we recommend no more than 2,000 voters in total on the app at one time. We also recommend no more than 500 voters in an assignment, and no more than 5 assignments on a device at one time. The app will allow you to exceed these limits. However, if your canvassers are running into any issues, it is always best to first check how many assignments are on their device. First log into the app, you'll be greeted with our login screen. You'll need to enter in your email address and password. Remember, this is the email address and password assigned to the canvasser. Your normal PDI login will not work here. Once you log in, you'll be greeted with the list of assignments screen. Tap on one of your assignments to open it up. The first view you'll be brought to is the street view. This view will consist of all the streets within that assignment, all in alphabetical order. Tapping on a street will open up that street and list all the households in numerical order. Tapping on a household will open that record. If your GPS is disabled, you'll receive a warning. Click the Begin Survey button to begin your survey. To enter a response, tap the response. Press the Next button to move on to the next question. Once your survey has been completed, you'll have 2 separate options, either to finish the household, marking the remaining individuals as not home, or continuing the household. The More Info screen allows you to enter in a comment, phone number, cell phone, email address, and an individual non-contact disposition code for that voter. You will need to click the Save button in this page to save your changes. Up at the top of the page, you have 2 different disposition options. The Other Options button allows you to mark a non-contact disposition for the entire household other than not home. The Not Home option allows you to mark the entire household as not home. Tapping on the map view will give you a full map view of all the households. If a household is not properly geotagged in the system, they will not appear in this view. The People view will display all the voters in alphabetical order. So we have 4 different colors for our color coding. Green means that the house has not yet been canvassed. Yellow means that someone in the house has either been marked as not home or has not yet been canvassed. And red means that the household has been completed. If you have activated Gotv mode, you will also get a 4th color, purple, meaning that the house needs a second pass. As long as your canvassers are connected to a network while canvassing, their data will sync automatically. However, if they are canvassing in airplane mode, they will need to eventually connect to a network in order to sync their data. They can return back to the My Assignments screen and pull down the screen to do a manual sync. Once your canvassers have begun canvassing, all the data that comes into your account will sit in a waiting room until it has been approved by you. This waiting room is located under Outreach, Field Canvassing, Approve Mobile Data. You will use the Method of Canvasser Data Review drop-down menu to select Show Data Pending Approval. Inside of here, you can see all of the data that's currently pending approval in your account. Activate the checkbox of all the records that have the data that you would like to approve, followed by clicking the Approve Selected Assignments button. If you would like to reject this data for one reason or another, click the Reject Selected Assignments button. If you would like to review the pending data in detail, click on the name of the canvasser. Inside of the Assignment Details page, you can see all the questions that were asked, the names of each voter, their addresses, phone numbers, cell phones, email addresses, and comments that were entered in, and any warning signs. The arrow icon indicates that the ID was processed from a distance greater than 300 feet from the location coordinates. This can also occur if the canvasser is canvassing without the GPS activated on their device. The house image appears when 5 houses or more are processed in the same location. And the timing identifies IDs that are processed within 2 minutes of each other. You can also approve data in here as well by activating the checkboxes of the data that you would like to approve, followed by clicking the Approve button here. Data can be rejected as well on a household-by-household basis just by activating the checkboxes of the households where you'd like to reject data and clicking the Reject button. If you would like to review the data that's already been approved into your account, click the Show Processed History button. Inside of here, you can click on the Approve button here to access the Assignment Details page to review all the data that has been approved. The Show Route on Map page allows you to review the individual's route that they took from household to household. Note, the points here on the map are not the actual GPS coordinates that the individual took, or the actual route, but instead just the household GPS coordinates. We do not make an actual canvasser's GPS coordinates visible to you. And lastly, we have the Show Canvasser Details page, which allows you to review a very detailed overview of the canvasser's efforts. This report features the name of the canvasser, the assignment, the name of the voter's PDI ID, the phone number for that voter, the date and time that canvassing took place, the question, and the response. Once a mobile project has been created, it becomes static, meaning that if your universe does evolve over time, your project remains the same. This project can, however, be refreshed by hovering your mouse over the Outreach section of the navigation menu, heading down to Field Canvassing, and clicking on Manage Projects. Inside of here, click the Refresh button for the project that you would like to refresh, followed by clicking the Yes button here in the pop-up. We recommend only refreshing your project once a day. It is best to refresh your project 15 minutes after approving the data into your account. That way you're taking advantage of all the data that you have entered into the system. Our program features an additional report where you can review your canvassing efforts for either mobile canvassing projects or online phone banks. This report is located under Reports, Field Activity Reports. Inside of here, you'll use the Select Project Type drop-down menu to select which type of canvassing tool you would like to use to generate this report. Survey is for paper phone list and paper walk list. Mobile project is for mobile canvassing projects, and phone bank is for the online phone bank. You will then use the Select Project Name drop-down menu to select the name of the project. And from there you can click the Process Counts button to generate your report. However, this report can also be filtered to a particular canvasser, organizer, project coordinator, lead organizer, or a particular date range by either using Select Previous Date Count or the From Date and To Date text boxes. Additional rows can be added in as well to include canvassers, project coordinators, days, lead coordinators, geographies, volunteer organization, mobile projects, and phone projects. Inside of this report, you'll get a top row that says Canvassers. The Canvassers row only counts unique contacts, so the numbers in the columns may not actually match the numbers here in this top row. This top row should not be used as a total count. Meaning, if multiple canvassers have contacted the same individual, it will only be counted as one here in the canvassers row. The total column is the total amount of individuals who are flagged. Doors knocked are the total number of doors where at least one individual was flagged. Contacted total is the number of individuals that answered at least one survey question. Contacted doors/phones is the number of doors or phones where at least one individual answered a survey question. And the remaining columns are just the responses to your various survey questions. That will conclude our field canvassing training. I'd like to thank you all for watching.